Hello everyone, it's me again, Liam, and I'm back with Carl.
Hi.
Today we're doing part 2 of what if the DCU is structured like the MCU. If you saw my 2 last minute changes to part 1, you can watch it. And if you don't remember, I'll say this. Black Canary is replacing Flash, and Count Virgo is replacing Reverse Flash. I guess I overlooked.
Right.
Let's begin phase 2 then, shall we?
hmm
The first movie in this phase is Batman 3.
Yes.
The movie would deal with Bruce Wayne's PTSD and would be a different movie from The Dark Knight Rises.
Uh, right.
Now, this movie would introduce Batman's archenemy. Iron Man's archenemy is the Mandarin. I decided to split Mandarin into two characters, Ra's al Ghul and Joker.
Right.
For the counterpart to Aldrich Killing, however, this would be Blight. It for the first part. The second counterpart would be Red Hood, as it's revealed that during the events of Batman 2 and Justice League, Jason Todd was kidnapped, tortured, and killed by the Joker.
Right, he was.
And he would be mentioned in Justice League. By the time of this movie, Dick Grayson would be Nightwing, and we would have Batgirl.
Right. See.
For the counterpart to Harley Keener, I decided to go with Damian Wayne. Now, the marketing would have it be that... Now, because we thought Mandarin was going to be the villain of Iron Man 3, but he wasn't, here, we would think that Joker and Ra's al Ghul are teaming up, but it turns out Ra's al Ghul was the villain in the first half, and Joker becomes the villain in the second half of the movie, thus killing Ra's al Ghul.
Right. Right.
As for the counterparts to Firepower, who didn't wear a suit, and Maya Henson, for Firepower, I decided to go with, obviously, Firefly, returned from Batman 2. And for the counterpart to Maya Henson, Talia al Ghul and Harley Quinn.
Right.
And of course, the Kelvin would return, and Rachel Dawes would be like it would be like a love triangle between Rachel, Batman, and Catwoman, and this love triangle is concluded with Rachel dying. Yes, Joker kills her, like in The Dark Knight.
Right.
And Batman stops Joker in the end, but doesn't kill him. Of course, we would also... And of course, the Batcave is destroyed, and the movie ends with Bruce initially think about giving up as Batman, but in the end, he decides not to quit as Batman, because he knows the city will still need Batman regardless. And he would take Damian as like his future sidekick, but we would also get introduced to Tim Drake as the second counterpart to Harley Keener.
Right.
Next movie is Wonder Woman 2, which I have called Wonder Woman Paradise Lost. As the title suggests, Cersei will be the villain and our counterpart to Malekith.
Yeah.
Asteria would also return and would join Cersei, and Wonder Woman would try to redeem her sister, but because they're adopted, Diana realizes that Asteria is too far gone to be redeemed.
hmm
But for the counterpart to Curse, this would be Giganta, who initially starts as Dora Azul, and then becomes Giganta when Cersei comes to our world. And Cersei would try to cause the extinction of the human race.
Right.
At the end of the movie, Wonder Woman stops Asteria, Giganta, and Cersei. And because this would also be set in modern day after the first Justice League movie. And there would be this subplot between Diana and a relative of Steve Trevor, and they fall in love because, yeah, Steve Trevor died in between Wonder Woman and Justice League. Yeah, that is pretty sad.
It is.
Next movie is Superman 2, which I have called Superman Son of Krypton.
Yeah.
For the counterpart to Falcon, I decided to go with Hawkman.
Right.
And Supergirl, who initially is brainwashed but is freed by Superman during the second half of the movie. For the counterpart to the Winter Soldier, I decided to go with Bloodsport.
Right.
AKA Idris Elba's character from Suicide Squad 2. For the villain, I decided to go with two characters. For the businessman counterpart, I decided to go with Lex Luthor, but he serves as more of a secondary antagonist role. But the main antagonist role will be given to the one behind everything, Brainiac, who is long overdue for a on-screen debut. And this movie would also show us Superman's origins on Krypton.
Like Superman the anime series did.
And it would also reveal that Brainiac was the one responsible for the destruction of Krypton.
Correct.
And it's also revealed that Brainiac raised Supergirl as his own, taking a page from Richard Donner's version of Superman 3. With that weird, questionable incest plot between Superman and Supergirl. I hate that romance plot.
Me too.
But don't worry, they don't end up together. Superman and Lois do. We're not going that stupid incest plot with Superman and Supergirl.
Yeah.
And this movie would be like the most dark, would be like one of the more darker films in the DC cinematic universe.
Right.
Because of how dark the Winter Soldier was. Next movie is Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Who would the Titans compose of? Simple. Nightwing, Starfire, Beast Boy, Raven, and Cyborg. Essentially the 2003 Teen Titans. As for the villain, I decided to go with Deathstroke. For the counterparts to Korath and Nebula, for Nebula I decided to go with Jinx. For Korath, Gizmo, and Mammoth. For the counterpart to the Collector, I decided to go with Dr. Light. As for the counterpart of Thanos, I know that's Darkseid, but I'm gonna break a rule here. That would be Trigon in an after credit scene setting up Teen Titans 2.
Right.
Next movie is Justice League 2, which I've decided to call Justice League Brainiac Attack. Now, basically, we get more new members for the Justice League. The villain, of course, would be Brainiac. After the events of Superman, Son of Krypton, Brainiac was defeated by Superman containing Kryptonian technology. However, he is broken free by Metallo, who would be the second counterpart to Ultron.
Yeah.
And Brainiac and Lex Luthor would also return in this movie. For the counterparts of the other new characters, I decided to go with these. For Scarlet Witch, Zatanna. For Quicksilver, Flash, and Zachary Satara.
Yeah.
As for the counterpart to Vision, Red Tornado. And for the counterpart to Useless Claw, I decided to go with Black Manta.
Right.
Sadly, Aquaman doesn't appear in this movie. Sadly.
Yeah, sadly.
It's like how Black Panther, Useless Claw was in Avengers Age of Ultron, and he's one of Black Panther's villains. Yeah, Black Panther wasn't even in the movie whatsoever.
It wasn't.
Missed opportunity right there.
Yeah.
Now, as we all know, this movie is the film that killed off one of the new characters. But instead of killing off Flash, I decided to kill off Zachary Satara.
Right.
Now, why does Zachary die? Simple. Since he is Zatanna's cousin, this is to progress her character arc.
Right. All right, it is.
And the movie would end with the Justice League killing Brainiac once and for all.
Yeah.
And of course, Superman would consider retiring from the Justice League. And as Lois is expecting a child. And the after credit scene would tease Darkseid saying, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
Yeah, like Thanos.
And now to the final movie of Phase 2, Adam. This would be a pass of the torch movie, with Ray Palmer serving as Hank Pym and Ryan Choi serving as Scott Lang. Now, Scott Lang's friends were original characters, so they can be the same characters regardless. Now, we would also get introduced to Mrs. Choi-An. For the villain, I decided to go with Dwarf Star.
Right.
And that would be it for Phase 2 of what the DCEU is structured like the MCU. Stay tuned for Phase 3. Anyways, bye.